Okay, well, welcome. I hope I can be heard. I can't actually tell because I've not been able to test my check my test my technology properly. Gosh, there's an awful lot of words I'm using at the moment which aren't making any sense whatsoever. So, on top of that, I'm on my own. I've not been joined by a co-host today. Trevor was due to join me, but has obviously been held up somehow, so we've not seen Trevor. So therefore, I am going to be here on my own, giving you a few. And I'm just going to check my technology. Yes, it's working. So look, it's getting towards the end of the year. It's close to Christmas, and I guess you've been working your way through the Sell More Stuff Challenge, and I hope you're getting real value from it. I hope you're really enjoying what you're learning in these 5 days. It's close to Christmas, hence this. This isn't the way I normally dress. This is purely a Christmas thing, and there's a Christmas jumper here as well, which you can sort of just about see. But you can't see it properly, which is probably just as well. So I'll adjust it a little bit so you can just see the top. You can just see the presence at the top there. So this is traditionally a time when a lot of businesses stop and take stock of the year and really think through some of the stuff they've been doing. So I just wanted to spend a little bit of time today, maybe having a think about some of the things that you're probably going to be doing about your business, thinking about your business between the Christmas and New Year period. Something that I'm going to be spending some time doing, as well as trying to get out and enjoy the outdoors and some time with my family. But I'm also going to spend a little bit of time not just stuffing my face with chocolates, but also having a bit of a think about where my business is going in 2021. It's a great time to do that. It is a bit of a refresh. There's no real reason why you have to stop and rethink about your business every between Christmas and New Year. It's just a very convenient time because things do slow down a bit. I actually think you should be planning your business every 3 months. You should be starting to adjust and making thoughts about how you adjust your business on that 3 monthly cycle. But let's assume that you're going to spend some time between Christmas and New Year doing that. And one of the things I just wanted to do was to suggest to you that you might like to have a think about something that I call the scientific, the big, hairy, audacious goal. Let's just have a quick look at what Theodore Roosevelt said back in 1891. What Theodore Roosevelt said in 1891 was, "It is far better to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in the grey twilight that knows not victory nor defeat." Now, that was Theodore Roosevelt. Now, he was obviously an American president. And what he was trying to say in that particular thing there is his thinking is one of trying not to exist in a mid-ground, but to think very definitely about how to push forward with doing something great and setting yourself great goals in order to do it. So what I'm meaning by that is this thing I just mentioned just now, the BHAG. The BHAG. The BHAG stands for the big, hairy, audacious goal. The BHAG. Now, BHAGs are something which, frankly, even a small business, but a BHAG engages people. In a big business, it reaches out and grabs them in the gut. It's tangible. It's highly focused. People get it right away, and it takes little or no explanation. But even if you're not a big business where you've got to engage people, where you've got to think about how you're going to get them moving forward, it's great to have a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, which grabs at people, and you can sort of, really articulate it. So set yourself the time over the Christmas period for maybe 2 or 3 minutes to sit down, think about something really big. And I want to give you some examples of sort of a BHAG now that will really sort of, get you sort of thinking. So here's some good examples. So here's the first example, GE. They set themselves the goal to become number 1 or number 2 in every market we serve and revolutionize the company to have the speed and agility of a small enterprise. Now, I would like to suggest to you that is a really easy goal to understand. To start with, in all of these things we talk about SMART goals, it is really specific. It's number 1 or number 2, not number 3, not 5 or in the top 10. It's 1 or 2. It's really specific. That's another great aspect of these goals, make them really highly specific. So it's highly specific because it's one or two in every market that they serve, and have speed and agility of a small enterprise. Okay, so that's the first thing. It's measurable as well. It's measurable because number one or two is measurable in every market. And what they haven't done there is they've made it time bound. They've just said that's what they're intending to do. But if you were really going to turn around and say in 2021, this is what I want to achieve, you put time on it. But what I'd like to suggest is that everybody talks about SMART goals, and SMART is this acronym that everybody uses. It's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So achievable and realistic, I think, are basically the same thing. But, specific, measurable. But BHAGs, these big, hairy, audacious goals, sometimes they're not specifically achievable. They're there to make you feel uncomfortable. They're there to stretch you. They're there to make you think, I'm out of my comfort zone here, so I'm going to really push forward and see whether or not I can actually do something which is highly audacious. That's the point of an audacious goal. We're moving beyond the realistic into something which is absolutely almost unachievable. So for another example, this was the one that Westinghouse, which is another very similar company to GE, and this was their BHAG. It just says total quality, market leadership, technology driven, global, focused growth, diversified. I'd like to suggest to you those are absolutely awful BHAGs. That is not a goal which grabs me. It's highly difficult to measure. And to be honest, when you sort of talk about market leadership, okay, well, great, technology driven, not particularly sort of stretching me and making me sort of be grabbed by the gut to make me work hard. I can turn around and say I'm technology driven because I picked up my smartphone this morning. That's not the point of a BHAG. A BHAG is there to put you out of your comfort zone and make you think about it. So, going back to our really good example, GE. This is the sort of BHAG I think you should be setting yourself for yourself as a business, to be number one or number two in every market you serve. Revolutionize the company to have the speed and agility of the small enterprise. Okay, that's kind of where I'm expecting people to get. So the part of the BHAG that I'm really suggesting you want to grab hold of is, does it stimulate forward progress? Does it get people going? Does it get you going? Henry Ford set his BHAG for his company to democratize the automobile. Now, you can think back and think, well, at the time, there weren't very many people that were actually trying to do what Henry Ford was doing. But in 1907, there were 30 players in the automobile market. There were quite a number of people that were out there. So you might think that you're at the moment in a market where there are 30 other people doing what you're trying to do. And actually, that wouldn't be terribly unrealistic. But Henry Ford set out to dominate the lot of them. He wanted to build a motor car for the multitude. He wanted to get out there and make it something that everybody who could enjoy. And you can see there that he basically said he wanted to enjoy, he wanted it to be so low in price that no man with a good salary couldn't afford to do it. And Trevor has joined us, so I'm going to add Trevor into the stream here. Hello, Trevor. How are you doing?
I'm good, Stuart. Thank you. I had two different links from you. I was waiting for you on another one.
Sorry, Trevor. So sorry. We're talking about big, hairy, audacious goals today, Trevor. I don't know if this is something you've ever done with people, but I think at this time of the year, and you'll notice I've got my Christmas hat on. I can see your Christmas your Christmas thing behind you there. Yeah. So I think a lot of people at this time of the year sit down and start trying to think to themselves, where do I want to take my business in the next year? And it's a good time to reflect upon that. It's not the only time in the year when we reflect upon it, but it's a good time to do it. So what I was just sort of talking through, and this came out of a discussion I had with a client this morning, who I was talking to them about saying, you need to know where your business is going in 2021. And we were talking about the big, hairy, audacious goal. I don't know if you've done any of this with people recently, but the big, hairy, audacious goal, despite the fact that it's big and hairy, has to be something which really stretches. And I was just sort of making the point that Henry Ford set out to, and his goal was democratize the automobile. Now that was just hugely ambitious at the time that he did it, because in 1907 there were 30 players in the automobile market, and Henry Ford just set out to dominate the lot of them. He wanted to make a car that was so low in price that anybody could be able to own it, to enjoy it in the family, to make sure that it was that everybody could therefore have one. And he wanted to make sure that the horse disappeared from the highways and the automobile would be taken for granted. That was a hugely audacious goal at the time he said it. And he achieved it because he did it. And it was that which drove him and his team to extraordinary effort. He and his team once worked 42 hours straight without sleep because they were so driven by this idea. And I think that, yes, we could sort of talk about hairy, audacious goals, and we can talk about smart goals. But I think 2020 has proved to us that 2020 has been a dreadful year. So we've got to strive for greatness in 2021.
Two things. I'm led to believe that the general public, when they heard that Henry Ford was going to invent a motor car, they thought it was just a device for annoying the horses and the cows, and they didn't believe it was a chance. But going back to your goals, what I've been discussing with my clients for the last few weeks is the Warren Buffett formula, the 25-5, where you take a particular facet of your life, and if we're talking business here, we'll take the business one, and you write down 25 possible goals. And then you go through that, and you go through that, and you go through that until you arrive with 5. And out of those 5, they should be, or they probably are, the most important things that you want to do in your business in 2021. And then you prioritize those. And then he was asked, well, do I keep the other 20 for further down the line? He says, no, you totally disregard those and put your focus and concentration on those 5. Yeah. And you do that. You can do that through your business, your family life, your fitness, whatever. But I believe that's quite a good one, because I think we have to put a lot of focus. We can write down goals, but we haven't focused. We haven't given them enough time. So we write down 25 and then try and bring these down to 5. We'll have some very good reasons why those are in the top 5, Stuart.
Yeah, and I was saying that for me, 2020 has been a difficult year, but 2021, I want to stretch. I really do, because I think at the moment we've all sat there and said, well, we've got through, but I don't think I want to get through 2021. I want to stretch myself in 2021. I want to go for greatness, and I think this is what Henry Ford was trying to do. He was so audacious in what he was trying to set out to do, and I think that's where we need to be in 2021. We need to be audacious, because if you sit back and go, well, we got through, we'll be okay, you'll be drowned by the people that are sort of also trying to get through in 2021.
Yeah, every year. I mean, we can't see ourselves as doing the same thing this year to be better next year. What we have to do is we have to keep focusing on getting better, doing better. And as long as we can, as you say, set the goals high enough that we have to stretch ourselves. And even if we don't just quite reach them, if we get very close to them, we'll still be better off than we were if we hadn't have set them.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2021 a year for me for setting goals, Trevor. I don't know about you, but it's the year that I'm intending to set myself some really stretching goals. I'm going to do it. And I just wanted to sort of finally finish on this one, that these goals need to work with the core of why you're in business. So this is the one that came out of Merck, and I know a bit about Merck because my wife is in the pharmaceutical business. Their core reason for wanting to sort of exist as a business is that they want to preserve and improve human life. They want to make medicine for the patient, not for the profits, and they want imagination and innovation. And their audacious goal that they set a few years ago was to become the preeminent drug maker worldwide by a massive R&D and to develop new products that cure disease. Now, once again, you look back at that and go, well, that's simple to say. But the fact of the matter is, if you are going up against some really big guys, to become the preeminent drug maker is a tough ask. It's a challenge that people will have to rise to. And that's my point today. Set yourself the sort of goal that will cause you to have to really stretch, get out of your comfort zone, to start challenging. And I want to sort of go back to Dudley on Monday. Was sort of challenging us with our mindset to turn around and ask ourselves, why are we stuck with this sort of just get there type mindset? We have to reach out to look, we're really stretching ourselves on these challenges. So let's challenge ourselves to do better and better and better in 2021. So that's the message for me this year, Trevor. As we're coming to the end of 2020, let's make 2021 the year of stretch.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, 2021 is going to be the best year so far because we haven't experienced yet. We've got all the opportunities, especially on here with their Sell More Challenge. Has really opened the eyes of well over 300 people who have taken the challenge so far, and I believe they will stretch themselves enormously if they employ the 9 core elements. and set themselves up for their best year in business of all time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I don't think we've got any comments coming in at the moment, Trevor. I don't know if you've seen any.
No, there's not any comments, Stuart. I think there has been a wee bit of an issue on the Facebook. It was just that was saying the host hadn't started yet, so maybe one or two went off. But no, as I say, it's been phenomenal interest over the last quarter on here. Anyway, Stuart, as you know yourself, and
Yeah.
the number of people who have actually taken the time to do the challenge, and the number of comments that I've received has been overwhelming. I haven't heard any negative ones. I'm sure you haven't either, but everyone was positive. But that's only the starting part of the process. I mean, as you know, and I know quite well, that's about approximately 20% of it. But it's a very important 20%, and you have to actually work those 9 core elements in all your marketing pieces. But then, whenever you have that, then you move on to the second one, which is obviously lead generation. And there is a fantastic quality in the vault for that as well, Stuart.
Yeah, and then obviously you get into conversion tactics, which are very important, because once you've got the lead, you've got to convert them. And then obviously the next element of the formula being the maximizing customer lifetime value, because one of the things that I've constantly been going on to some of my clients recently about is the fact that they get very excited about going out and targeting yet another lead prospect or a suspect and bringing them into a lead and landing them as a customer. And yet they massively miss, as we all talk about, the acres of diamonds that are under their feet, which are their current customer base, where, those customers, having got a relationship with you, then reach out and start asking the question about, well, what else do you do? What else do you do? So we miss that so often.
Yeah, and I think it's not only what about the customers we have, it's also about how we build, encourage, and nurture a relationship with them on a very regular basis. I mean, in these days, it's been easy to make the excuse, well, I can't call with you, I can't have a meeting with you, and all, but that doesn't stop you making a phone call.
No, indeed.
That doesn't setting you up a virtual appointment. That doesn't stop you sending them a message. That doesn't stop you letting them know you have a special offer on, or you have something to sell at this particular time of the year, or you have a sale, or Black Friday, or Christmas, or New Year. It doesn't always have to be selling, of course. It could just be just getting in touch, say hello, hope they're all well, and there's something you can help. And frequently, if you asked any of your best customers, they don't really know the full extent of your offer, because they've came and they've bought something from you. They haven't had an interest in certain other products or services you've had at that particular time. So it's very easy to make the assumption that they don't need them. But they probably do need them, but because they don't know you have them, they're not going to buy them for you. So it's very, very important that we keep updating our existing customers with their full range of products and services.
Yeah, absolutely right, Trevor. Well, look, Trevor, it's I'm sorry that you didn't get the link. I don't know what happened and what went wrong there, but
that's you. This is just trying to keep me off the screen. I know that, Stuart.
You got a face for television. I've got a face for radio. so tell us, Trevor. We've certainly got one more of these on Monday, and I think you're hosting it on Monday. And then, we might well be taking a bit of a break over Christmas to allow people to do their sort of planning for the next 12 months. And
that's just a good question, Stuart. Just because Liz and I had discussed this, and we're just wondering, and I have got a complete opposite. I have some clients who are winding down from this weekend, and I have other clients who see that as an opportunity to have some more free time to do some more work and reading and whatever. So what's your opinion on that, Stuart?
I personally, I have got I've got work all the way through to the 23rd, and I should be going all the way through. And then, I have one client who is in retail, and he is currently in his very busy. In fact, we have a meeting this afternoon where we're going to be talking about sort of his plans for the running up to Christmas, his plans between Christmas and New Year to start getting actively out and promoting his business, because he knows he wants to get onto the January sales radar. So he's going to be very busy going right up to the 24th, because he's very busy selling. He then wants to be very active in the market, promoting the business, sort of getting in front of the customers that he knows are going to be thinking about everything. So he's not going to be stopping, and I'm going to be assisting him. I've got another client who's in a manufacturing space, and they've just managed to get a product through to the point where they can start manufacture, and they're taking every minute they possibly can in the manufacturing plant in order to be able to get that ready for the market that they want to be able to launch it to in March of 2021. So, a lot of people are saying, yeah, it might be quiet for you, but I've got a huge amount I've got to achieve, and I want to take every minute that I can. So the manufacturer, I know for an absolute fact, he's going right the way up to the end of Christmas Eve, and he's getting back on the phone to people on the 28th, because 27th is a bank holiday, and he knows he's not going to get any far. But he's got customers in America, and they'll be at work on the Monday, and he's quite keen to talk to them if he possibly can. So, we're all different. Some of us want to break, some of us want to get out there and keep selling.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what business is. Everybody has a different business, and everybody has different hours to work their business and different demands. So I know that we're having a meeting or 4 with Dudley and Lucy and yourself and me and Steve. We're having a meeting on Monday, so we can decide what the program is for the Christmas period. But we're definitely back on Monday evening. And what I'm going to suggest on Monday evening is maybe half a dozen of the best books that I have read this year.
Good idea.
And I think maybe discuss, just give a brief outline of them, and perhaps there might be something of interest to for sale more stuff challengers.
And I suppose at that time we can announce what the plan is for going into the Christmas period and on into 2021, Trevor.
Absolutely, sure. We'll discuss that on Monday afternoon, and then we can let the people know it Monday evening.
That sounds brilliant. Right. Well, I'm going to end the broadcast, Trevor.
Okay.
Given that you've just announced what we're doing, because I think that's a great spot at which to end it. And I know I'm going to see you before Christmas, so I won't wish you a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. But anybody who's watching, who I won't get to see before, have a really great time with your families. Stay safe. Stay distant. Although with this funny hat on, people are avoiding me at the moment, so I don't have that problem to worry about. And we'll see you again very soon.
Lovely. Thank you, sir. Very good. Thank you.